there's been some waiver pickups. We picked up the guy that we had got in the season. What's his name? Jose Castilla.
Castillo, yeah.
Um, so we'll see what happens with him. Didn't pitch too bad for us. I think he had like a little bit over a 2 ERA, left-hander, right? So we'll see if we can be able to develop that guy even further. And Ji-Wan Bay we got as well, outfielder from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Spoke a little bit off pod about this silent assassin, and G1 he had a domestic violence issue in his past. I think it was either 2018 or 2019. He was a young man at that time. I don't even think he was 19 years old yet. Had an issue with his girlfriend. There was some type of assault that happened, and he's been with the Pittsburgh organization. They finally put him on waivers. Mets go ahead and claim him. So we were talking about it a little bit off pod. Like, do you want to share anything in regards to, like, as a fan of the team that has acquired a guy like this he's not a difference maker. He's a part of the organization. He may not even make the main roster. He may, he does have an option left, which he might just be in our minor league, organizations. But what are your thoughts about the optics of it?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting move. Even as like a depth piece, like he hasn't been a great player. But I mean, you always want players. I mean, in your system. So, but I don't know. I feel like domestic violence is a big thing in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Regarding like scandals and whatnot. I think like obviously there's no place for it. Um, Even with him being 18, 19 years old, I feel like you just, as a human being, you don't abuse anybody, especially your significant other, and then that being a woman and going as far as uh, doing multiple things to the woman. Um, I feel like it's just kind of too far. I don't know if he like served any like penalties or anything with
It's a
the
fine.
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a fine. Like, it was I think it was they charged him with cuz it was in his home country, so it was 2 million won,
Mm,
which works out to like a $1,500 fine or something like that.
okay. Yeah, and also too for the Mets we were talking about that how they just had released a player not too long ago for a similar situation. So I don't know. I feel like I mean in this moment in time, I don't see him being a major league player, um, just as his past and his past numbers. But um, I feel like we are also talking about too. Like if you're more of like a star player, those things kind of get passed off, like an Aroldis Chapman or you know what he did, even Marcelo Ozuna, what he did. The list can go on. Like if you're performing well, like people kind of forget,
Absolutely.
and that I mean for all sports, but I feel like that's kind of not a good situation. For
It
kind of
it, it
yeah
muddies the waters.
yeah.
It does.
So I think it just even like their suspensions I feel like have to be taken more seriously in major league level. Um, so yeah, we'll see what comes out of it, but I'm not a fan of the guy. I didn't really know much about him before, but like you know, it's just like an interesting move
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, to the women that are a part of the organization, to women out there that are fans of the team, it's just a very weird dynamic to have this person. And listen, like, I'm a big advocate of you are not you are not a finished product at 18 or 19, right? But there's also outliers to that, right? Where you should not be able to live down certain things. Like, people can address these things to you, they can address their concerns about your past. And if you are rehabilitate, what's the word?
Rehabilitated.
Yeah, here you go. rehabilitated, you can be able to answer these questions and show people that you have been changed and rehabilitated, right? So if he's gonna have to answer for this for the rest of his career, then that's what he put himself in, right? If you don't get opportunities because this is something that happened in your past, that's something that you did and you have to live with that, right? But you do have a chance to be able to show people that you are not this person anymore, and you have learned a very valuable lesson. But at the same time, people also don't have to give you the leeway of like forgiving you or giving you a pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people say, oh, well, this happened when I was young. It doesn't really matter. Like, it can affect people. It can bring people back to a trauma that they've had to deal with. So you'll always have to answer for this because your mistakes follow you. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can be able to outlive those things. You can be able to learn from those things and people can be able to forgive you. But there's also a portion of people that will never forgive you. And you have to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, apologies are not just guaranteed. If you do something to somebody and you go ahead and you're now rehabilitated and you want to go ahead and make amends of that, the person that you did wrong to, if you come to them years later and apologize for what you did, they don't have to forgive you. You are doing this because you are a changed person. So whatever the outcome is, whatever the reaction is to your apology, you have to accept. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to see. Could be a nothing burger move again because he hasn't really done much in his career. Might not even make it through the minors. Might get cut. Who knows? But it's just the fact that if they're taking a flyer on him, then I guess that they believe that whatever transgressions had happened back then, he's shown more of the other side, that they're more comfortable in bringing him into an organization that's been very, very, that's on the up and up in regards to respectability, prestige, just looking the part of a well-run organization. So I don't think that they're going to want to jeopardize their image for a G1 Bay. You know what I mean? So that's what my hope is. We'll see. Moving on to other Mets news, obviously. You have Diaz that opted out, Pete that opted out. I believe that Diaz will sign back very soon because they do have that exclusive window to be able to get that done, and I don't see how they don't get this done. He's the best closer in the game.
Yeah, I think the deadline's coming up soon. I forget the date. I think it's maybe by the 11th or something like that. I was kind of, even before he opted out, I'm like thinking like he might even set an extension before opting out, but obviously that didn't happen. And again, I'm saying it every week, like that's the first move that the Mets have to make. And I think they should make it before he kind of reaches out to all those teams.
Yes.
Just get it done, because I feel like there's going to be a team like, say, the Dodgers that hears, this is like obviously not going to happen, but $200 million,
Would you imagine?
So, but they have to bring him back, because that's like the one thing is the bullpen. Like, who the hell else do you have in that bullpen? Like,
and listen, if Diaz don't come back, don't even call Ryan Helsley. No, don't do it. We don't want him here. He's cooked.
Yeah. So it's like, even the options available, like, who's better than Diaz? No one. Like, he had his few years where he's kind of struggled his first year and 3 years ago. But other than that, to have that type of guy in New York that you could do the job, like, you need that.
Yeah. He's proven in the biggest market in sports. And that comes with monetary advancements. You have to pay him for that.
Yeah.
Because he's earned the right to be able to get paid.
Yeah. And he's always, like, literally his last time that he was put in free agency. He's like, I want to be here.
Yeah.
And that's never changed. Like, even when he was asked on the last day of the season, he's like, oh, like, I still have to think about it and whatnot. And I think we all kind of knew that he was going to opt out just because.
It's just good. It's just good business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, he is, like, a player that's always showed that he's cared about the team and wants to be here and, you know, never kind of put money or anything, you know. Obviously, you got to do what's best for you and your family, but I feel like it's always been more for the team than really, you know, his self. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. You know, you had I was very surprised at you today, and we were talking Mets, and you were just like, you know what, just over it. You know, I don't really care right now. If Pete leaves, he leaves. I don't care. I'm just like, who am I speaking to? It's just, you know, but I understand that you go through these wave of frustration. You're just tired. You know, maybe when the hot stove really starts to heat up, you know, you'll get more invested back into it. But I get it. You know, we have Mets fatigue.
yeah,
We do. It's like, how much more are we gonna take? How much more beatings are we gonna be able to just receive and be happy about it? No. It's time for us to just sit back and see what the hell he's going to do. Because, look, there's a lot of talent out there. You got Bregman. You got Schwarber. You have Bichette. You have Kyle Tucker. You have all of these guys out there. I need 3 of those.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me that you can. The checkbooks are open.
Yeah, you got some. I saw, like, obviously Josh Naylor could be a replacement.
Yeah, great defense. Great defense.
I'm not going to try to pronounce their names, but those 2 Asian players that are kind of coming to the.
Oh yes, you got Akamoto and you have Muneka. What's his name? Murakami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are options. They're supposed to be really good.
I would rather Akamoto though, because he's his glove.
Baseman?
Yeah, his glove is elite.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I didn't watch the playoffs really. I watched the last few innings of the World Series and seeing the Dodgers win it, and then the Pete situation just kind of felt like last year. Kind of like, I'm like, I don't want to, like, last year sucked, obviously seeing the Mets lose to the Dodgers. And I just kind of felt like we're back here at point 1 again, trying to build this team to be a contender. And they didn't really make any. They got Juan Soto, but again, that's Steve Cohen's move, not David Stearns' move. So, kind of like my trust in him, I'm just kind of like, I don't care, because he's got to prove it in the season. Like, he can sign everybody, but like, the season has to. The players have to mend well. So, like I said, like, we'll see, like, as things kind of start going and moving, you know, forward with things. There's a lot of talent out there, like you said, and if he doesn't start picking on that talent, I'm going to be, you know, even more kind of concerned with, like, what he wants for this team and, like, what his goals are really. Like, what are you doing if you're not signing the top talent for your New York team? And after what happened last year, like, you need those top players, because you can't go into next season hoping, again, that the bottom of the lineup produces, because that's just, like, you need to, like, all those players in the bottom lineup that's not named Juan Soto, Lindor, Nimmo, you have to find replacements for them, because you can't trust them.
Absolutely, I agree, because if you send McNeil to Mars, now you can be able to free up and, you know, Bo Bichette can be able to play second. You got other opportunities. Maybe you give Jet Williams an opportunity. Maybe, who knows, if you send Vientos to Mars, now you can be able to free up a lot of situations, whether you bring in Schwarber, you bring in Bregman, you bring in Belly, you bring in whoever it is, but you give yourself options. Hey, listen, if I have the chance to go sign a Bregman or somebody of that ilk, you can take Beatty too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if I can trade Vientos and go get Luis Robert, yes, I'm doing that. And everybody's like, oh, you know, Robert he's a good defender and he might need a change of scenery, but this is a guy that hit 38 home runs a couple years ago. This is a guy that's good. So I need sure things. The guys that have had good careers or good success, give me that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me no damn potential. I don't give a damn about no prospects. I like them. Okay, cool. You have bright futures, but sometimes you gotta package those guys up and go get you some bona fide stars. That's all it is.
Yeah, like try and win next year, next 2 years.
Yeah.
Get your rings. Okay, now we can kind of produce the guys and
Right.
have them come up and then build out the future.
Yeah, because we realize that, David Stearns has a talent to be able to build the farm system. So that's not a concern for us going forward. We always know that he has an eye for talent that way. But you have to cash in. You got to cash these guys in. My thoughts on Pete Alonso, and I've said this, and I've heard people have stolen my take. Even on the radio, they're listening. I want Pete back. I'm sure it's very shocking for you to hear that. I want Pete back. And give him whatever you want to give him. If you want to give him a 6-year deal, give it to him. But he can only take that deal if he agrees to be DH.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. And there needs to be a hard deadline. Whatever the deadline is, whether they're going to set it at a certain date, or there needs to be a hard deadline. There's too many players out here for them to sit and wait on Pete Alonso to figure it out. So they can say to him, whatever number you want, we are willing to go as close as possible. But you have to be designated hitter. You have to be DH. And on top of that, it has to be a declining scale contract. So you can get your money up front. You can make $40 million next year if you want to. We'll give it to you. But if you're here for 5 years, that contract goes like this. So at the end of it, you still might be viable in regards to being a power hitter. But we now have more roster flexibility to be able to add to this roster without having an albatross of a contract because you're getting older. That's the way they have to do this deal.
I feel like also to him too, like, okay, you're getting your money more than like what you want up front, and then toward the end of your career, like you still have an opportunity to win because you're allowing the Mets now to have more money available to sign whatever talent is available at that time.
Exactly.
And like if you're signing back here with the Mets, and you have Juan Soto for the next 14 years, whatever it's gonna be, you have to expect you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Going to win multiple championships because you have Juan Soto and Lindor too. Like your mindset is we have to win with these two players. So even with Pete Alonso, it's like this is your best situation to come back here and to win with the Mets. You're comfortable here, and things haven't gone the best way, but like this is your best opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I fully agree with that. But they have to, if it's one thing that I'm not a big fan of David Stearns right now, but he will gain a lot of my respect if he plays hardball with Pete. And when I mean by hardball, it's just like we are willing to give you as close as the deal that you want in regards to years, in regards to AAV. But our only sell here is that you DH. That's it. Mm-hmm. There is no room for you at first base. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to play 20 games at first base this season because we need a little bit of roster flexibility, then we're good with 20 games. We're even good with 30 games. Nothing over that.
Mm-hmm. Also keeps like his longevity.
Yeah.
Too. Like he's a big guy. He's getting older. Like things are bound to kind of start breaking down. So with him diving around the field and whatnot.
Diving around like some 4-year-old kid that just has no idea of what he's doing out there. Like watching Vlad play first. He's not a great first baseman, but he makes the easy plays. Pete doesn't make those plays. And everybody keeps talking about, oh, well, he's a good scooper. Yeah, he is. There's a lot more to first base than just scooping the ball. Mm-hmm. You have to make the easy plays. You have to be able to turn and fire to home when there's a bang-bang play. You got to be able to fire the second when there's a bang bang play. You got to be able to have the, throw a great strike to the pitcher covering first base. You got to be able to have the easy picks at first base when you're on the line. Like all of these things you have to do. He doesn't do any of these things. So rather than trying to get him to be this player, you know that he won't be. And I always make the comparison of David Ortiz. The Red Sox never wanted to change David Ortiz. They know that he wasn't a great defender. Then don't be. Just be our DH. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We'll get somebody who has a solid glove at first, and we'll figure it out. You are our power guy. You will always be our power guy, and that's where we're going to put you. Mm-hmm. Never had a problem. Mm-hmm. He's a Red Sox legend, and nobody cares about him playing a position or not. Who cares? So Pete needs to do the same thing. If you believe that you're more valuable in this league as a first baseman, then go chase it somewhere else. I don't want that. Mm-hmm. We will never win a World Series, and I'm saying that right now. You can time it, you can quote me, you can timestamp this. We won't win a World Series with Pete Alonso playing first base every day. We just won't. Mm-hmm.
Even they got to how many injuries and miscommunications and errors has he cost the team?
Yeah,
literally injuries has been on him.
He should be buying Senga dinner every day.
Mm-hmm. So that has to kind of move on from that. And I remember his rookie season, literally Keith Hernandez talking about he's gotta practice on that glove, and then we'll see. I think he could be able to fix it, but now it's been
7 years,
7 years, and it's still an issue. I think it's time to kind of move on from that and kind of put him in that DH spot for the next 5, 6, 7 years, whatever they give him, and then that's kind of taken over by Juan Soto.
Yep.
As he gets older. So
I agree. That's the hard line that the Mets have to draw in the sand. Shouts to Pete Alonso and Juan Soto for being Silver Sluggers. It's the first time in Pete's career that he's a Silver Slugger. I think this is the 6th time in Juan's career that he's been a Silver Slugger. So, the thing about this kid hasn't even been in the league that long, and he's already 6-time Silver Slugger is amazing. He's just a great player. And he's top 3 in MVP voting. So it's a good first season. Not too bad. Not too bad for man Soto.